Okay, just a quick update, guys, because I'm going to be doing certain things today. Make this car sound a bit better. So, okay, I'll go through a few changes. So we've got some graphics down the side here, various things that's going into the car already on it. I did add a sun strip and a little Nismo decal up there. Really does actually look quite good. Let me walk around here and give you a better shot of the car. It does look really quite good, but the reason I'm making this very quick video is because I'm actually changing the exhaust out right now. So we've got shiny exhausts here. This is the true dual system I was telling you about. So what I want to do is I wanted to show you a video of the before and after. So there's the stock tailpipes, and in the next scene, I guess. Look at me getting all video technical. In the next scene, I'll have the shot of it actually being installed and give you a sound sample. But these things never work out right because one guy's speakers compared to another sounds different. So it'll be a rough example, but I'm actually having to chop the bolts off the car because the bolts are quite badly rusted. So it's taking a little bit longer than I anticipated. So down there I've got the good old grinder ready to go, and I've got one side of the Y pipe off. Just got to do this side now. But anyway, stand by, and next part will be the actual exhaust on the car. Okay, so welcome to the second part of the video. This exhaust, oh my goodness, oh my, what a headache. 2 days, guys, 2 days to take it off. So the bolts that held everything together were all completely seized to the point where there was actually no thread left. It had rotten completely, so I needed to grind them off. Then I needed to back drill through the bolts of the catalytic converters on the downpipe. That actually, I went through, how many? A dozen carbide bits. I ended up having to go out and buy more. Eventually it came off, but it was a 2-day battle to get this exhaust on. And you know what the worst bit is? It doesn't sound as good as the broken stock exhaust. It doesn't sound anywhere near as good. It's completely quiet. I guess that's because of the resonation that it does, but I'm going to go down here and see if we can show you. Absolutely beautiful. Brilliant fit. When it actually went in and all got bolted and tightened together, it was an absolutely superb fit, in fairness. Our car's a bit dirty right now because it is raining. But yeah, what did I have to do? So every single bolt was rusted. I ended up having to back drill through the studs for the catalytic converters. I went through a dozen carbide bits that are designed to go through steel. It just, oh, it was a nightmare. It was underneath there with only like 14 inch of clearance, some tools, air tools, drills, files, grinders. An absolute nightmare. 2 days of hell. But the results, I mean, aesthetically, you know, it looks absolutely awesome. It looks awesome. So I couldn't really do a fair comparison before and after because the exhaust that was on there basically was a straight pipe. It had actually detached from the muffler and it was just a straight piece of pipe, no longer actually connected to anything. So the sound that gave you was just phenomenal. It actually wasn't horrible. It was a deep rumble. It gargled on every cylinder. It was loud. It sounded really well tuned. But alas, I was losing pressure. It was blowing and causing all kinds of other problems. I will say this, since I've put this on, this car is like a little rocket now. The throttle response, the rate of acceleration has massively changed. Hugely changed. So 10 out of 10 for the exhaust. Definitely a brilliant buy. So let us get it started up for you. Okay. that off. So as you can see, I've actually warmed up the engine. There's no point doing these tests if you can't actually hear what it sounds like when it's actually warm, because that's what it's going to sound like when you're mostly driving this thing, right? So do a quick couple of revs inside the cabin. As you can hear, it's very, very, very quiet. It is not loud at all. Just a little burble every now and then. Now, in fairness, the burble is probably caused by one of my coil packs. I keep getting intermittent misfires. I've got more coil packs on order, so that should take care of that. I did just put like the best Bosch spark plugs that money can buy in this thing, so hopefully it's not injector related. I can't bother getting into that. I wanted to save the injectors, because if I was going down the injector route, I wanted to buy like 1000cc injectors and then plan for boost. I didn't want to have to do it until I got to that stage. But anyway, here we go. We'll give you a rev from outside the car. Now, whenever you do put a brand new exhaust on a car, it is normal for it A, to stink, and B, to puff some white smoke for possibly a few days afterwards. The reason is that when you get a new stainless steel exhaust, turn that off, when you get a new stainless steel exhaust, hopefully the manufacturer of the steel put a protective coating on it, an anti-corrosion coating. Stop oxidization and stops rust, basically, corrosion. And what's happening is, now that the exhaust is getting hot, it's burning off them chemicals inside the exhaust, and it kind of gives off this funny smell. It doesn't smell like clutch, or it doesn't smell like catalytic converter. It's a bit more of a pungent sort of smell than that. It's a bit sharper on the nose, a bit more aggressive. It's more like when you burn plastic, it's more that kind of smell. But it's absolutely normal for exhausts to have that for a little while. As you can see, when it was running, there was no smoke anymore. I've driven this a few times now. But there you go, guys. So we now have a free-flowing exhaust. What I'm going to do is, I'll go around this side. I'm actually going to pop the hood, something I didn't do the last time. I'll show you what's going on inside here. If we can get some lighting. Okay, now then, bear with me, guys. I'll put the latch up. Okay. So there is my 350z engine. So, what have I done in here? I told you about the carbon fibre intake system that I put on there. So what that does is that takes and extracts cold air that's coming in through the vent at the front there, sucks it directly into that carbon fibre, and that is legitimate carbon fibre, closed air intake system, and then that sucks it up through the stainless into the intake throttle body and manifold, your plenum in this particular case. The reason behind these closed air intakes is maximum performance. So these open air intake systems, the just regular short ram induction kits that you get, the problem is they suffer with heat soak. So down around here, this is a hot spot, you can feel it right now, and it sucks the ambient air into the intake. Now what you want is nice cold air going into your intake. That's the whole point. Cold air is dense air. Dense air means you can add more fuel. Adding more fuel to denser air means it burns better and more powerfully and gives you more horsepower. So what this does is, this here, it basically stops heat soak. It protects the air filter from all the heat around the engine, much like a stock air box. except for this does one thing that the others don't. This actually has a performance air filter actually in there, and a ram air effect, so there's a snorkel comes from that goes on there, and you can plumb that wherever you want. A lot of the mods for the 350 puts a vent into the front bumper cutout there and then feeds cold air direct to it. I'm not the biggest fan of that vent. I think it breaks up the front bumper and the lines. I'm not a big fan. That's good enough for me, but that would be an option. But it works well. You don't get that induction roar from these, just like your regular airbox. You don't get a huge induction noise, you know, you don't get that whoop. But it definitely gives you the maximum horsepower, that's for sure. Other than that, as you can see, we are pretty bone stock in there. I don't know if that'll ever change or not. Like I said, I mean, I'm toying with this idea, and now I've got this exhaust and reading online. I think if I was going to do anything, I think potentially it's going to be supercharger. Only because if I go turbocharged, I'll have to ditch the true dual exhaust that I've just put on there, because the downpipe from the turbo breaks down into a single again. So unless I do either a pile of custom fabrication to go from a 2 to 1 to the uppipe, and then turbo 1 splitting to 2 to exhaust, a rather convoluted system, it would take a massive amount of stainless and a load of time to do. I am not going to do it. Supercharger, I don't need to worry about exhaust gases or anything like that. You know, it's all belt driven. I think the main thing with these, after doing my research, the main issue we're going to have is the bottom end, boost wise. So it seems that as soon as you get anything above sort of 6-7 pound of boost on the stock bottom end, you start running into issues, which is fine. I mean, 7 psi in these things I think is, you know, pushing 500 horsepower. But I don't want to get to that stage, so your boost control has to be absolutely spot on. And that's why I upgraded external wastegates and all this other stuff, and blower files are very important. If you're going turbo supercharger, you don't have a lot of these issues. You just got to worry about the quality of the install and the quality of the supercharger. But anyway guys, there you go. So that's my video. Stock exhaust to aftermarket and a shiny intake pipe and intake. That's it so far. Anyway, take it easy as always. Questions, comments, please feel free to post. I'll try to answer everybody's. Take care guys. Bye now.